Should we start?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Responsible tourism has become a buzzword, I would say a necessity, globally to counteract the possible negative impacts that tourism brings. Kerala has been a pioneer, leading all of us in the country to take this challenge head on. Today, we are honored to have with us Mr. Rupesh Kumar, State Responsible Tourism Mission Coordinator, Government of Kerala, to speak on the initiatives taken by the state. Mr. Kumar has played an eminent role to develop Kerala as one of the leading responsible tourism destinations in the world. He has been associated with the responsible tourism activities in the state for 15 years and counting. Under his able and selfless leadership, initiatives like Model Villages of Kerala and the ethical development of tourism in Kumarakom have flourished. His efforts have made Kerala gain a prominent position in the global sustainability map as a destination. The government of Kerala honored him thrice for his notable contributions in tourism. Kerala has received 14 prestigious awards in the field of responsible tourism under his guidance. He has also authored 5 books and written many articles on responsible tourism and related initiatives. A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Rup, for joining us today. So I'll start with the questions. The first question to you, Mr. Kumar, is that everyone's been talking about responsible tourism for a while, but Kerala has been a pioneer in implementing this concept in India. So what, according to you, was the driving force behind this hands-on approach to responsible tourism by Kerala?
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, all. Thank you for inviting me such a wonderful live streaming and webinar. I hope this is a great opportunity for me, and I consider this as a special honor for me also, because SITA is leading one of the sustainable tourism company in the world. Coming to the question, it was the state government's decision to start responsible tourism initiative in Kerala during 2008. Before starting responsible tourism in Kerala, there were some types of conflicts and agitations in some part of Kerala, especially in some destinations like Kumarakom. People were agitated against unethical and unscientific development of tourism in various parts of Kerala. Actually, I was also the part of some agitations. We were not against tourism. Actually, we were demanded for our rights. Our rights means local communities' rights in tourism, and we demanded to protect the nature and culture and the local community involvement in tourism. So government decided to start responsible tourism as a tool to address, as a remedy to address such conflicts, and government decided to select 4 pilot destinations in Kerala. Government decided to start responsible tourism in 2008, and now we are in the 3rd phase of responsible tourism activities. At first, we selected 4 destinations in various parts of Kerala, which were Kumarakom, Thekadi, Kovalam, and Vaithiri. Later, it is expanded to Kumbalangi, Ambalavayal, and Bekal, and now it is a mission. It is direct under control of directed tourism, and this is the basic. Actually, there were some disagreements by the local community against unethical and unsafe development of tourism. So government decided to address the concerns raised by the local community, and that was the real history of responsible tourism behind the decision to take responsible tourism, to implement responsible tourism policies in the state.
So some mass movement is always at the root cause of revolution and change. It's interesting to hear that. And you were at the helm of it, so now you're responsible for it. And also, I think some of our viewers, people listening in would have seen, or if not, haven't seen, please watch this movie called Kumbalangi Nights, which is, the village itself is so beautiful, and it's based on one of the model villages that Kerala tourism is promoting now. So my next question to you, do you see a difference? People use these terms intermittently, responsible tourism and sustainability, sustainable tourism. Do you think there is a difference? Is there a difference between the two terminologies?
Basically, in concept, there are not so much difference in sustainable tourism and responsible tourism. In 2012, Dr. Harold Goodwin, who is the considered as the founder of International Center for Responsible Tourism, and he's promoting responsible tourism in various parts of the world. In 2012, Dr. Harold clearly answered this question. I am taking his words to answer this question, that responsible tourism is about making a better place for people to live in and better place for people to visit. In that order, it is about using term rather than being used by it. Responsible tourism about taking action. It is about identifying the economic, social, and environmental issues which matter locally and tackling them, bringing the stakeholders together to exercise responsibility. So sustainability is the goal, a goal which can only be achieved by people taking responsibility together to achieve it. I think there is no serious difference in sustainable tourism concept and responsible tourism concept, but sustainable tourism is a theme for a lot of seminars and discussions, and there were no practical models for implementing it. And responsible tourism made a clear way to created a practical approach to implement sustainability in tourism sector. That is my view.
And you have been part of the responsible tourism movement since its inception, as you rightly said. Tell us about your journey. And I mean, from being an activist to actually framing policies. What has been the most challenging aspect of creating a mission statement and, framing policies, basically?
Thank you, ma'am. As I mentioned earlier, there were some conflicts and agitations happened in at different tourism destinations during 2007 against the unethical practices of tourism. I was on the forefront of such protests and agitations of local community. And when government assigned Kudumbasri for a preliminary survey and study for the implementation of responsible tourism, Kudumbasri mission is the one of the leading institution by the government for the promotion of women empowerment activities in Kerala. And I was assigned the charge of Kumaragam for implementing as a consultant of responsible tourism for implementing responsible tourism in Kumaragam. After that, government decided to give an assignment with JITPAC International. That was another technical support agency. And I was assigned as the responsible tourism destination coordinator of Kumaragam, and later I became the project coordinator, state project coordinator of that movement. And after that, government tried to implement through KITS, Kerala Institute of Tourism and Travel Studies. I became the state level field coordinator, and later government decided to make it as a mission under the direct control of Director Tourism. And now I am the state responsible tourism mission coordinator. In the beginning, it was very difficult to work, basically, even though responsible tourism has been defined in 2002. Till 2008, there were no practical models for us to replicate or experience. So it was a Herculean task, basically, to create awareness among the local community and industry about RT concept. Actually, it was experiment in which always grassroots level community members can be linked with tourism. It was not so easy, but I can clearly mention that now we are in a clear way of, we made a clear path for implementing responsible tourism in various parts of Kerala. And now we are in the process to expand responsible tourism along with other state government support. We already made an agreement with MP Tourism for implementing responsible tourism in Madhya Pradesh also.
Fantastic. So the responsible tourism mission is based on triple bottom line plan, I'm told. Could you please elaborate a little about this concept so all our viewers also understand?
Okay, ma'am. Triple bottom line approach is the base of responsible tourism concept. Responsible tourism is based on three major responsibilities: economic, socio-cultural, and environmental responsibilities. Both are considered as equally important in responsible tourism practices. Economic responsibility tries to ensure economic benefits to local community or host community, as well as to the tourism entrepreneurs also through the implementation of responsible tourism. And social responsibility in Kerala, we termed it as socio-cultural responsibility. The traditional livelihood activities, traditional art, craft, etc., are protected through tourism as part of this responsibility in Kerala. And when we think about environmental responsibility, under this responsibility initiative is made to restore and maintain the natural ecosystem of the destinations with local species of flora and fauna. Waste management of tourism destination is another goal set under this responsibility. Basically, we are using social capitals like beaches, backwaters, greenery, and scenic beauties of destinations to promote tourism and to make money. So these social capitals can be protected through the implementation of responsible tourism. That is the basic concept of implementing environment responsible tourism initiatives.
Very interesting. Do you have a way of measuring to what extent people are being responsible once you have chosen an area? Is there a measurability criteria? Or, I mean, I'm sure it's based on these three principles, but do you have a way to measure it?
Of course, ma'am. Before starting responsible tourism activities in any destinations, we will conduct various studies like carrying capacity and the necessity of local producers and community interaction with and what is the real situation of tourism industry, how they are interacting with the local community, how they are ready to associate with the local community. And there are certain benchmark areas. Through that initiative, we will have certain criteria for responsible tourism classification in various parts of Kerala, in homestays, Ayurveda centers, houseboats, etc. At the same time, we are trying to involve local community through responsible tourism with the support of local self-governments. That means we are trying to implement various projects with the support of local panchayat. That means panchayat can coordinate local community also. So the community involvement in tourism and community benefit in tourism is the major measurable point of responsible tourism in Kerala.
That's very important. Very, very important. So there were initially 12 responsible tourism destinations in Kerala, and the list is growing further. What are the criteria that you follow to select the destination, and how do you promote them then?
The basic concept of selection process is we are trying to find out new tourism destinations, new unexplored destinations. For that purpose, we will have a methodology for implementing or find out the uniqueness of destinations. We will start a tourism resource mapping with the support of local community. Before that, we will conduct special tourism grammar sabhas with the panchayat committees, and we will give a detailed awareness program and discussion program with the local community about the positives and negatives of tourism and what is responsible tourism, how can we implement it. And then we will start tourism resource mapping. Then we will find out the possibilities of product making, community-based tourism products identification. So there are certain criteria to find out the possibilities of new tourism destinations to implement responsible tourism activities.
Right. So within this set framework of tourism, you find places that could be more responsible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So my next question is that you spoke about the triple tier criteria, so economic, socio-cultural, and environment. Um, but a lot of people now include animal rights also and animal welfare also as part, an essential part of being responsible. And a whole lot of animal rights activists are raising issues about animals being used in tourism, especially with some episodes that happened in Jaipur with vis-a-vis elephants. So I know that you also promote some native experiences that involve animals. How do you ensure that the well-being of the animals are maintained during those experiences? And what is your take on this topic?
Actually, we are not using animals in our
Okay.
native experiences also. Artimission never promotes packages which are using animals. For
Okay.
example, we are not promoting elephant safaris or bullock cart rides and as part of our initiative. Maybe some of our partners are promoting, but Responsible Tourism Mission is totally against uh, the use of animals in tour package.
Tourism.
Yeah, in tourism. We
Fantastic.
are promoting farm tourism, but Artimission is promoting farm tourism. Animals
Right.
are associated only this activity in some farms, for example, cattle farms, but they are well protected and we never promote any cruelty towards animals. So Responsible Tourism Mission is always against using animals in tourism sector.
Right. And as far as farm animals go, and that's part of your farming
Yes, ma'am.
experience.
Maybe cattle farm, cow
Right.
rear will be there. Uh, that is uh, that is the part of farming activity, and the farming activity is directly involved with responsible tourism initiatives.
Okay. Thank you. So please tell us about the responsible tourism initiatives that have been implemented in the state, and what was the response of the involved parties to this plan of action?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. As I mentioned earlier, it was very difficult to work in this concept in the initial stage because we did not have any practical models for reference. Basically, there are some concepts, some theories, but there were no practical models. At first, some of the stakeholders were suspicious about this initiative in Kerala. They thought that it will distract all tourism activity of Kerala. But now all the stakeholders in Kerala accepted RT principles and also promotes responsible tourism very well. The activity
Right.
from 2008 to 2020, we created a well established mechanism and created a wide acceptance for RT among community and industry and created a Kerala model responsible tourism now which is being referred by other states also.
This is fantastic. You were mentioning you're also speaking to Maharashtra tourism about it. So
Madhya
be
Pradesh,
interesting to see
Madhya Pradesh tourism already made
Madhya
an
Pradesh.
yeah.
Yeah. So how does the monetary benefit reach the intended party? So what is the mechanism in place for this, especially for tour operators who promote these experiences?
Ma'am, actually, Responsible Tourism Mission is acting as a facilitator in between the industry and the local community. And only the mission is not taking any monetary benefits from our packages. We are trying to develop a lot of packages for the sustenance of the local community, to protect the local community's livelihood through tourism. For example, we have a lot of tour packages which are mainly focusing on village life experience activities. As part of this initiative, we are trying to find out various traditional livelihood activities and we are trying to train the local community to incorporate that livelihood activities to tourism, and we are promoting it as a tourism product. Similarly, we have cultural experience activities, cuisine experience. There are a lot of other initiatives. We are not trying to take any monetary benefits, but at present, the financial transaction for any of the package, product sales, etc., is directly in between the industry and the local community. We are not trying to involve it. We are trying to produce local producers with the support of local panchayat, and there is a production, procurement, and supply chain mechanism created by Responsible Tourism Mission in various destinations of Kerala, and it is directly linked with tourism industry. We have more than 20,000 units in various parts of Kerala, and they are directly associating with the tourism industry, and there is no monetary benefit for Responsible Tourism Mission. There is no intermediates, basically. There is no, okay, ma'am. And tour operators can, sorry, ma'am, tour operators can promote our packages with their additional benefits.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's a brilliant idea and initiative. So the success of any mission basically is on the results. And I would love to hear from you any success stories that have come from all the initiatives that you've taken so far.
Okay, ma'am. There are a lot of success stories, so I cannot explain one or two. As I mentioned earlier, we have more than 20,000 units, and majority of them are leading by women community members. So this is a successful story of women empowerment, because before starting Responsible Tourism Initiative in Kerala, majority of the grassroots level women community members are not ready to involve tourism because they had a misinterpretation that tourism is an ugly business in some part of Kerala. That was their concept. And after the implementation of responsible tourism activities, our women community members are working with us to implement responsible tourism, and which all of them became a livelihood activity for them. I'm not taking about women community members who are working in with the hotels and resorts. I'm talking about the stakeholders of responsible tourism mission. 85% of responsible tourism mission units are leading by women community members. That is a revolutionary movement in responsible tourism when we compare to other part of the world, I think. And besides that, more than 1 lakh families are working with responsible tourism mission. Majority of them have different success stories. When we talk about projects, we can see the revolutionary project named Pepper. As I mentioned earlier, it's Pepper for us. Pepper is people's participation for participatory planning and empowerment through responsible tourism. The pilot destination is Vaikam, which has been developed, and recently Vaikam has been declared as new destination of Kerala. In this initiative, I think this is a revolutionary movement in tourism sector, because this is the first time in a project government decided to conduct special tourism Grama Sabhas to discuss the positives and negatives of tourism to be implemented in that rural area. So people will get the chance to discuss about their hopes and anxieties of tourism development. They can interact with the officials, they can interact with the industry leaders of tourism. And besides that, we will start resource mapping with the local community, and the local community will support us to make tourism resource directory. It's an interesting model. Basically, I am thinking that this is the best successful story of responsible tourism mission of Kerala, other than when we compare the successful stories of individuals and in various.
No, this is just brilliant. I don't think anywhere in the world there is at such a micro level such an initiative has been taken where you involve the village, entire villages in Gram Sabhas to speak and share. And it's all the stakeholders are involved in all the decisions. Nothing more brilliant than that. So I'm sure you would have studied some other models in other countries that are being followed for responsible tourism. Which country, according to you, has done very well in employing these initiatives?
It's quite difficult to explain about which country is good and which country is bad, because there is no question about bad countries, but there are a lot of countries promoting responsible tourism, like South Africa, Gambia, Vietnam, Indonesia. There are a lot of countries.
Finland, I'm told, is also quite high
Yes,
on.
Every country and region has its own peculiarities and uniqueness, I think. So the RT practices are also different in various regions and countries. So from my point of view, we cannot compare which is good and which is bad. Basically, we need a mindset to accept as well as to promote responsible tourism as an individual, a region, a nation, and an organization. In between that concept, we can compare some countries like South Africa. They already, from the beginning, they are trying to implement responsible tourism as their policy. When we think about Kerala tourism is the first Indian state to already declared that this is our policy. Responsible tourism will be our policy. And it was not a showcasing activity, and government of Kerala decided to implement it very seriously. Now this is the third phase of responsible tourism. So we can compare South Africa's initiative, Gambia's initiatives, and there are a lot of other third world countries trying to promote it. Besides that, in various parts of the world, there are a lot of companies. They are trying to promote responsible tourism, trying to implement sustainability in tourism sector. At the same time, there are a lot of NGOs. They are also trying to implement responsible tourism very well from their own way. So it is a interesting story when we think about various part of the world and when we think about various part of the nation.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. So I know that Kerala tourism has come a long way in doing so much already. And so what is the vision for future? What is the way forward? Do you have any new plans that you want to implement?
Yes, madam. Now we are trying to implement Kerala as a 100% responsible tourism implementing destination. That means we already started to find out various destinations in Kerala. Around 48 new destinations identified and developed by Responsible Tourism Mission with the support of local community in various parts of Kerala. And now we are planning to develop 100% RT practicing destinations inside Kerala. To attain that goal, we are trying to develop green and clean destination with the support of local communities. That means local self-governments will be, and their action plans will be incorporated in this initiative. And all stakeholders of tourism will be also there. Besides that, we are trying to carbon neutrality and slow tourism in Kerala. At the same time, we are planning to incorporate tourism as a development subjects of all local self-governments and make Kerala's complete responsible tourism destination or state. That is our future plan. Besides that, we are trying to implement responsible tourism classification in all accommodation units. It is already implemented in homestays. We are conducting a lot of training for homestays to start homestays in various parts of Kerala. And from the beginning, we are trying to clearly give a clear idea about responsible tourism for the homestay promoters. At the same time, we are trying to implement classification for local tour operators and travel agents for RT classification. We already implement Ayurveda classification as a with the support of responsible tourism classification, and we are trying to implement responsible tourism classification in houseboats also. It is already declared and trying to implement it. At the same time, we are trying to start RT classification in hotels and resorts. So we have a clear plan of action for future activities.
Brilliant. Looking forward to all of that. I cannot imagine 100% Kerala becoming totally responsible and sustainable in that sense. So that would be such a brilliant model and so good for India as a destination.
Do you know that, madam, it is not an easy task?
No, it is not easy. I can understand because there's business interest at the core of it. And so that is not always in sync and in tune with environment or socio-cultural issues. So I can understand, and also human rights, working hours and salaries, and this it's a very difficult thing to implement, especially when private stakeholders are involved, and then business is at the core of it. So what is your message to the tour operators and travel agencies? How can we contribute to the mission?
Okay, ma'am. Actually, we have a lot of tour packages in various parts of Kerala. Artimission already developed various experiential tour packages like Village Life Experience. I already discussed about what is Village Life Experience. And we have cultural experience packages, native experiences, carbon neutral packages, festival tour packages. We already announced learning experiences to address the post-COVID-19 scenario. And we have experience stay options also. So at first, if all tour operators and travel agents are ready to promote responsible tourism activities, they can choose various packages of responsible tourism mission. And tour operators can promote these packages by sending their customers to these packages, incorporate these packages while they are preparing new products and packages. Also, they can use the services of registered Artimission units like taxi drivers, chauffeurs, etc., or purchase products from responsible tourism mission units. In Kerala, we have for online platforms for promote responsible tourism activities. And one is Kerala Responsible Tourism Network. From that platform, all tourists and tour operators can purchase souvenirs, handicrafts, and all types of perishable and non-perishable products. All of them are produced by local community, and there will not be any monetary benefits for Artimission, and there is no issue of looting money, and there is no issue of commission and nothing. So they can purchase through the product purchase from Responsible Tourism Mission online platforms. It is a direct support to the local community. At the same time, we have Human Resource Directory. We already developed an online platform for Human Resource Directory. You can choose guides, community tour leaders, taxi drivers, chauffeurs, electrician, plumber, everything is there. So accommodation units can use them. Tour operators can also use them. Also, we have experience ethnic cuisine activity. That is trying to give an opportunity to taste the real local food, real taste of local food of Kerala. And it is operating by 2,800 women community members of Kerala. So the common message to all stakeholders in tourism sector is think responsibly and act responsibly to promote sustainability in tourism. So be a good spokesperson and a promoter of RT for the existence of tourism and the nature. That is my message. And at the same time, I am adding that I am not a big person to give any message. I am always trying to expand responsible tourism activity through my life and through my teamwork.
That is so beautifully put. Thank you. And what is the message you have for tourists and travelers thinking of Kerala, visiting Kerala?
The same thing as I mentioned earlier. There are a lot of opportunities for them. If you are ready to visit our village houses, if you are ready to purchase our village products, it is very good for the local community members. And be a responsible traveler and practice responsible tourism, not only in Kerala, wherever you travel. That is my message to them, because responsible tourism concept always tries to minimize the negative impacts of tourism and maximize the local community.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Tourism always stands to protect the nature and tries to support local community through tourism. Without the support of local community members or host community members, we cannot make meaningful experiences. So if you are ready to interact with the local community or host community, you will have chance to experience unique experiences from the rural communities. If you are ready to come and experience our village life experience packages, you will have the chance to take selfies from the top of a coconut tree that you cannot get any other part. You will not get any other part of the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's such a beautiful message. I'm now opening the floor for any questions that our audience might have. Tejashree, would you help me with the questions, please? Because I'm not able to read, and just help me out with the questions as they come.
Sure, Lavleen.
Thank you. So the floor is open for questions now to Mr. Rupesh Kumar. Please feel free to type in your questions in the Q&A. So Tejashree, have a look. Are there any questions?
It takes a while for the questions to load, Lavleen. So we just
Load,
wait.
okay.
And,
Right. So we'll just wait. So we are reeling under a cold wave here, Mr. Kumar. I wonder how the weather is in Kerala. Must be nice and warm.
Yes. It's too hot in the daytime, and in the evening it is quite good.
We have a cold wave here. Last 2 days, it's been really chilly and windy, and yeah.
I want to ask a question, Lavleen, if you permit
Sure,
me.
Robin, go ahead.
So university, we were trying to sell in the past, a couple of your village life experiences. Okay, so I remember when we were trying to showcase a product in Wayanad, we got the intimation that we have to make this payments directly to the vendor in Wayanad, actually. So what happens, that time we never felt it is, something which is, we directly deal with a person which we do not know. We are only, we know only you. Responsible Tourism Mission, we know. So we want you to take the responsibility of that experiential activity. You have to be accountable. But when you say that no, you now deal with them directly, and so that time, it was a little difficult for us to further, proceed with that kind of a thing. So, is it something which is still you're continuing that, or you have some other solution for that?
Robin, this is a serious matter. Basically, as a government institution, we cannot do any direct business, number one. And number two, we cannot collect money from our side. Because we are the part of Department of Tourism. So this is the basic problem which we are facing, as you mentioned here. Now we have a separate mechanism. We already formed village level committees. There is a for operating responsible tourism packages. So there is a committee which is operating by village level committee, those who are participating in responsible tourism mission activities, which is registered under responsible tourism mission as a unit. So they have a joint account. The tour operator can transfer money to them, and we have a coordinator, and myself is also in a special charge to conduct that packages. So there is no other issues now.
Okay.
At first it was an issue. We will ask to transfer the money to the person who are operating, who are leading village life experience packages as a community tour leader. That was the major issue of the first initial stage. Now it is already managed. We have a village level committee, and there is an account for the village level committee members.
Yeah, that's the way for the practical side. Otherwise, it's not that easy for us, especially when such kind of vendors, they have the bank account, everything, but when you ask for the KYC details, it's not possible for them to submit that. That's the point.
It's already addressed.
So we have some interesting questions already, I think. Tejashree, I can now see questions. There's one question about houseboats. How can houseboats be made more sustainable? And is the government taking any initiatives towards that?
Okay, ma'am. We already started some serious steps with houseboat operators. We already formed some committees to convince them to promote sustainability, to implement sustainability in their activities. Already, houseboat operators are also facing some serious issues. Financial crisis is also there, and government is trying to support them with a one-time settlement around 80,000 to 150 lakh rupees, 150 lakhs rupees. We already developed a classification criteria for houseboats, which is based on responsible tourism classification. For example, we are trying to implement environment aspects there for waste management. And a lot of houseboat operators already signed an agreement with Responsible Tourism Mission on behalf of Department of Tourism that they will not use plastic bottles and plastic straws and all that. And sewage treatment was another issue, and it is already managed. So not initially, it was a continuous issue. There were some serious problems of unsustainable manage operations, and now it is quite addressed. So we are trying to promote sustainability through houseboat operations also.
What about the social cultural aspect of houseboat operation? Has that also been taken care of?
Yes, ma'am. Now we are trying to involve local community members and local other cultural activities and all that. At the same time, there are some other issues we already faced and which are also addressed by with the support of stakeholders in houseboat sector.
And do you monitor it from time to time? How does it work?
Ma'am, we have a mechanism to monitor it. There are some rules and regulations, but you know that maybe some manipulations also will be there. But we are trying to convince all operators to protect the nature, culture, and socio-cultural aspects of tourism. So there is a serious awareness already created by the government, and the majority of the houseboat operators are also trying to create awareness. So it is also addressed now.
Thank you. There's another question about local community tourism. So is there some kind of a training that you do? Is there skill building initiatives for the community tourism?
Yes, ma'am. We have different training programs. Majority of them are focusing on value-added products making, production of value-added products. We have, for example, we have various trainings for souvenir making, pottery, value-added products of pottery, candles, and all that, paper bag, cloth bag, and all that. At the same time, we have guide training and community tour leaders training, and at the same time, we are trying to give hospitality training for the community members also. So there is a training component is one of the major aspects of responsible tourism, one of the major target of responsible tourism mission in Kerala. We already conducted, we already trained 10,000 community members in between 3 years as part of this initiative.
Right. So there's another question about plastic and environment. So this question says, sir, I've seen fishermen pulling out the net from water and throwing back the plastic into the sea. And I've heard concerns from guests that the water is not good to swim because of the plastic. As an expert, what is your thought, as it is an environmental disaster which affects our beaches, and you know, many countries, a lot of organizations are actively active about it in banning plastic. So what is what is the government's take on this?
It's a reality, ma'am. There are a lot of issues of plastic pollution in our water bodies. Not only in these backwaters and canals also facing the same issue. So government decided, Department of Tourism and Government of Kerala decided to ban plastics from January 1st, 2020, and we implemented it very well. And around 1,200 properties, accommodation units already banned plastics, more than 28 varieties of plastics from their premises, and they made an agreement with Responsible Tourism Mission also. At the same
Yeah.
time, we conducted a lot of awareness programs to address this issue. So we can manage it well with the support of creation of awareness. It will be a continuing process.
Yeah. So it's a combination of both, no? Domestic tourists and local people. Everybody throws plastic in the water. So waste management has to be really good.
Ma'am, we cannot, I'm not trying to give any clarification on that, because probably international tourists are not trying to throw away their waste to anywhere in our destination.
Right.
So proper waste management system is the basic issue of various destinations.
Yeah.
Now we are trying to create proper waste management system, and we are trying to implement PEPPER project with the support of local community and local panchayats. And major concern is waste management also. So
Right. And also over tourism is a problem in many places. Over tourism leads to absolutely non-sustainable ways, and in many ways it can be an environmental hazard, especially in places like Wayanad, where so many small hotels and accommodation units have come up. Is there a way that the government is keeping a check on excessive units coming along, which are making a negative impact to the environment?
yes, ma'am.
Is there a policy to stop over tourism?
Yes, ma'am. It's already started in Kerala. We already conducted carrying capacity study in some backwaters, and we already declared that no new license will be given to houseboats in Vembanad backwaters. That is one of the mechanisms. At the same time, we are trying to conduct carrying capacity studies in various destinations, and we are trying to implement some limitations of the guest reach or guest entry to destinations. So there are some issues from local community to remove such regulations, but still we are in that process to control over tourism. At the same time, unhealthy development of accommodation units is another issue in various parts of Kerala.
Yeah.
So we are trying to convince them how we can control over tourism. And now this is a good time for implementing sustainability. Mass tourism is already gone due to COVID. So in between this issue, we can implement or we can create awareness about uniqueness of tourism and protection of the nature, culture. So people will be so aware about health condition also. So I think this is a good time. Yeah.
So is there you mentioned about awareness, and what kind of campaigns is the government running to create awareness amongst tourists for hygiene and, littering, especially with regard to plastic?
Ma'am, we have different campaigns, awareness campaigns, and we are using social media campaigns also to create awareness on tourists. We are mainly focusing to create awareness in our stakeholders and local community members to protect the destination and the nature and the environment. So if the local community and the stakeholders are ready to protect the nature and environment, we can easily manage these issues in destinations. Because the stakeholder is not ready to promote any unhealthy practices. Of course, tourists will not take any serious compulsion for promoting any unhealthy practices in a destination. That is our main focus. So we are trying to create awareness through various programs in destinations, not only in destination with the support of local self-governments. At the same time, we are using social media campaign also.
Right. So tell us more about your carbon neutral initiatives.
As part of carbon neutral initiatives in Kerala tourism, we are trying to promote Miyawaki afforestation programs in various parts of our destinations. I think you know about the details of Miyawaki afforestation program. We are trying to create urban forest in various parts of our cities. At the same time, we are trying to implement the Miyawaki forest afforestation in various with the support of various stakeholders also at the same time in our destinations. Besides that, we are trying to promote electric car usages, carpooling, and solar energy usages in hotels and resorts. At the same time, we are trying to promote village walk programs, storytelling packages, nature trails. There are, and we are trying to promote country boat rides with the support of tourists. There are a lot of other initiatives for promote carbon neutrality.
Interesting. It'd be interesting to see. So you mentioned electric cars. They are so expensive. Even the hybrid and the electric cars are so expensive. Is there any subsidy for getting electric cars in Kerala now, or especially for tourism? Is there a policy?
Ma'am, this is there are some discussion points. It is already going on. Some discussions are going on. At the same time, as part of smart city in Trivandrum city, government already given more than 150 electric autos, which is already developed by one of our public company by the government, and it is given by subsidized rate to various community members. And we are trying to make Trivandrum city as a carbon neutral destination for a pilot initiative of responsible tourism missions carbon neutral packages. So till now there is no serious initiative for subsidized programs for carbon electric cars. But now there is a program which is already going on. Some tour operators are already started electric car packages in various parts of Kerala, and responsible tourism mission is also associating with them.
Yeah, thank you. It would be brilliant if transporters could be given subsidies and some sort of arrangement reached where transporters were able to obtain electric vehicles at a much cheaper cost, so that's where all the tourist cars come from.
Yes, but it is not an easy task. I think
I know.
we are trying to implement it. It's
Great. I'm looking forward to that day where we can have electric cars in Kerala.
Yeah, okay.
Brilliant it would be. Do you have a specific code of conduct for tourists and local communities for behaving responsibly as a tourist?
Now we are trying to develop various code of conduct in selected destinations. For example, if you are visiting in a sacred grove as part of our initiative, there are some code of conduct. Similarly, we are trying to implement a certain code of conducts in our bird sanctuaries, in backwaters. So there are serious initiatives. It already started in various parts of Kerala, but it is not so easy to implement it because we need to implement with the support of local community and tourists. It is not so easy, but we are trying to implement code of conduct.
Right. And my next question was that hotels, this is from a colleague of mine, hotels form, especially big hotels and medium-sized hotels form a big part of the tourism sector in Kerala. I know it's probably easier for you to implement this in homestays and smaller properties, but how much support do you get from big hotels for implementing responsible tourism initiatives?
Madam, from my experience from the beginning, in Kumaragam, we made agreement with the Tata Group, Taj Groups, Kumaragam Lake Resort, CGHF Hotels. They promoted responsible tourism very well, and they started implementation of responsible tourism in their destination. That is my experience. CGHF hotels are promoting responsible tourism very well, and Taj Group also promoting responsible tourism in various parts of Kerala. From my experience in Kerala, all major players in tourism industry, like big hotel chains, big tour operators, big travel agents, all are associating with responsible tourism mission for promoting responsible tourism. That is the real strength of responsible tourism mission to promote, to implement RT activities. Otherwise, it will not sustain. It will not be a reality.
Lovely. So the last question is that what can an individual do to contribute?
An individual can contribute through their mindset. If you are ready to implement responsible tourism through your life, through your travel, you can promote it well. If you are ready to accept a reality that when you are visiting in a destination, you are entering the privacy of the local community.
Yeah.
If you are ready to accept it, you will be a responsible traveler. So we have a lot of options to promote responsible tourism as an individual. For me, this is a passion and this is my life. I'm spending my 15 years life in responsible tourism activities. Different individuals can promote responsible tourism through their own way as they wish.
Right. Thank you very much. I think we've exhausted our questions. And with that, we'll come to an end to this session. Saurabh, you can stop streaming now. And we have a Q&A for the viewers. Do give us your feedback on what you thought of today's session. Mr. Kumar, thank you so much for joining us today. And it was such a pleasure chatting with you and learning about responsible tourism. I'm sure we will pick your brains much more. And this is not over yet, this conversation, because we are implementing, as I mentioned to you in the beginning, we are implementing sustainability and responsible tourism initiatives within our organization, and it would be good to consult with you from time to time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. This is a great honor for me. So this is a very pleasure for me to interact with you and interact with Sita group. And special thanks to Robin also. He's my good friend.
Yeah, he's our. Thank you, Robin, for